Shalom Aleichem. Once more, we are on the mitzvah from the Rambam, of the Sefer HaMitzvos of the Rambam of Hilchos Gezela Ve'aveda about lo sisaveh. One shouldn't have a desire, base reacha, of somebody, of his friend's house, or other objects of the friend. And so that's the desire, that's the lo sisaveh. One shouldn't be jealous of the person and have a desire for their things. And then lo tachmod, one shouldn't put it into action to try to get the thing from the person, unless the other person willingly says, I have this thing to sell, would you like it? So, perish davar hu. So let's see. Perish davar zeh. The explanation for this thing is, she'im ro'o davar yofa eitel achiv. If he sees something good by his brother, im hishlit machshavto alav v'nesabelo, hari over al amro yisela lo sisaveh. If his mind starts ruling over him, and he really desires this thing, he is transgressing on what it says in the Torah, lo sisaveh. You shouldn't have desires for the other person's possessions. In other words, that belongs to him, and you should not try to take it away from him. You shouldn't desire it. It belongs to him. Hashem gave it to him. So v'titzchazek bo ahavas also hadavar ad sheyaseh tachbula lahasigo. V'titzchazek bo ahavas also davar. So the love of that thing will be so strong in him, ad sheyaseh tachbula lahasigo, until he makes plans to try to get it for himself. Tachbula. He'll try to set things in motion to get it for himself. V'lo yechtal milefaiso ulahachbid olav lemachro o lahachalifo shehu yoter tov mimeno v'yoter yoker. And he might try to tell him v'lo yechtal milefaiso ulahachbid olav lemachro. And he might not refrain from trying to appease the man that he wants this thing for him. He's going to be very insistent. Make it very hard for him. He's going to try to tell the man that he wants the object from, that to try to sell it to him or to trade it for him for something else that he will say is much better than that. V'yoter yakar, and it's more expensive. In other words, he wants the other thing, so he's going to try to convince the other man. Reuven is going to try to convince Shimon to sell him the house, and he'll say, I have a different house. Take this house from me, and the house that I have for you is much better and more expensive. It's much dearer. Im ola biyado davar zeh hari over gam al lo tachmod. If this thing came to fruition, hari over gam al lo tachmod. Kishiyirchosh oso hadavar shahoyo shel chavero shelo hoyo lo inyan b'mechiraso. If he succeeds in taking it from him by really strong, trying to convince him, and all kinds of ways of trying to get him to do his way. So when he finally gets it, he's transgressing the lav, the lo saseh, the negative commandment of lo tachmod. You shouldn't desire. When he finally gets the object that belonged to Shimon, when Reuben gets the thing that belonged to Shimon, Shelo haya lo inyan b'mechiraso. In other words, it wasn't sold to him, but he convinced him by force. Ella shehichbed alav v'yasa tachbula ad shehisigo. He didn't sell it to him actually, but he did all kinds of persuasive tactics to try to get him to give it to him. And even if he gives him something else for it, it's still really not that he bought it from him. So he is over on lo tachmod. Ela shehichbid alav, he made it very hard for him. Shehichbid alav v'yasa tachbula, and he made different plans to try to get it from him. Ad shehisigo, until he succeeded. Ad shehisigo, until he succeeded in getting it away from him. So therefore, that he's over on the avera of lo tachmod. V'nimtzo she'ovar al shnei lavin. So he finds himself that he transgressed on two negative commandments. Lo saveh, you shouldn't desire the item of your friends, and lo tachmod, you shouldn't go and put it into action to try to get it from your friend. Kemoshe bi'arnu seichel ze gorem. Kemoshe bi'arnu, like we explained, seichel ze gorem. V'im nimna ze melimkor ulekabel chalifin machmas chibaso lioso davar. Hari oz lokho bechazko uviones machmas his chazkus ahavas also hadavar benafsho. So b'seichel zagorim, and this Indian, it seems that it follows intellectually. V'im nimna ze melimkor v'lekabel chalifin. If, let's say, Shimon, who has the object, refuses to sell him the thing, to sell Reuven the object of desire, machmas chibaso lioso hadavar, because Shimon loves his thing. Harioz lokho bechazka. So then Reuven takes it by force, uviones, bechazka, with strength, uviones, and with force, machmas his chazkus ahavas also hadavar benafsho, because of the strength of his loving that object so much, he has to take it from him, even with force or with whatever way of force it might be, God forbid. Hari oz over gam al lo sigzol. So then he is also transgressing another transgression, another avera of lo sigzol. You should not steal. One should not steal. In other words, if Shimon decides to give in to all of those persuasions, and he agrees to sell it to him or to trade for it, that's one thing. That's lo tachmod. You shouldn't. So then, Reuven is being over on lo tachmod. You shouldn't desire your friend's things. And also, you shouldn't work at getting it away from him unless he willingly gives it to you or sells it to you. But if let's say Shimon doesn't go in with this, he doesn't want to give him, no matter what, whatever persuasive tactics he uses, he says, no, I want to keep it. So then, because Reuven loves this item so much, he will, God forbid, try to take it by force or by whichever forceful way it is. So that is called, and without paying him anything, he just said, okay, so because he loves it so much, he just, by force takes it. He's over also on lo sigzol. You shouldn't steal. V'yisbonin b'inyan zev v'maaseh achav v'navos. And think about this inyan, this topic, and what happened with Achav. Achav, that's a king. That's a king. V'navos, Malachim, Yud Aleph, Chaf Aleph. That can be looked at. That's in Malachim, Yud Aleph, Chaf Aleph. That's kings. That's 11, and that's the pasuk, the 21st pasuk, the 11th parak, and the 21st pasuk. Hineni isbor lecha hahevdel bein amro lo sesaveh uvein lo tachmod. Hineni isbor lecha hahevdel bein amro lo sesaveh uvein lo sigdol. So in this chapter, it is explained now for us the difference between lo sesaveh, one shouldn't have the desire for something, uvein lo tachmod, and one should not work at getting it, work at do different, set things in motion to get it. So this is lo sesaveh. This is in the halachos of gezela and aveda. That's lo sesaveh and lo tachmod. So this is okay. Yashikayach, thank you for watching. Kol tov. Well done, good. Kol tov.